That's done.
And that's Dache.
And we're rolling bones.
Well, today we are going to do something new. We're going to do a little crafting and some talking.
Dun's going to be putting together some models primarily for Blood Bowl, and I might do the same. I actually haven't decided yet, so it's going to be a surprise for all of us. But let's get started, and I hope you enjoy it.
The tree man I want to print out, I need bits for because, and whether I print those bits out or not is a different story. The point is, I need extra to really make those tree men specific for Blood Bowl, you know, because right now they're just man-shaped trees standing on a ground with mushrooms.
I still think that these are my favorite Blood Bowl models.
Philadelphia Eagles?
Just the Delphos Birds of Prey, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Just the sculpts and everything on them, they're the most flavorfully fun to me. I mean, other sculpts in the game are like, other teams are like flavorful and like fun and stuff, but like, because they, obviously you look at them and you see it's a that is nothing other than a football player.
This is an action photo from Sports Illustrated.
Yeah.
You know, that's what this is. As opposed to this looks like a battle-ready orc for really any war game almost.
I mean, he's good. I mean, the football being in his hand helps, it sells the...
It does. So does your pitch that you've painted, or based underneath.
The basing.
Not just painted, but based.
You know, I thought I would really like this stuff better, because it's the actual stuff, but I like this stuff better.
I do too.
On the model.
I like the color for this better. Is this the...
That's just the
foam?
Just the Woodland Scenics stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a big jar of it. I like it.
It is a mixed. It is a 2-part one.
Yeah.
That I put one down and then I put the other one on top, which the one that went on top is also a mixed one. But that one is my I like this one okay. That was my first time using static grass. Like really using static grass with an applicator and stuff.
I've never used a static grass applicator.
The way the static grass applicator it works, you either plug it in or this one has batteries in it. You touch this, you attach this to the board that you're working on or whatever it is. Like, so I attached it to the base. And then you turn it over and shake the stuff out of here. The charge of the electrical current in here being based on here, like, makes a static effect with the stuff, and it will stand the blades up, the blades of grass up. You can get a somewhat similar effect by blowing on it a little bit, but like if you have a lot of glue down, like it'll just pool in the glue.
Yeah.
But it still actually looks good that way too. Like when it's laid flat, and a lot of it goes down flat, but enough of it stands up that you can see that it's standing up there. Another thing you can do is like use a balloon and stuff like that after you put it down, like to stand up the grass, like static. You know, charge up the balloon with like rubbing it on something and then bring it over the top, and it'll bring up some of the grass.
Okay.
But like for boards and stuff like this is the better thing, because those boards that I'm working on for the tile system of just having like 2-foot tiles that are like grass and road, and you know, like that you can just configure in different ways. If you remember the one I was working on that I haven't done any work on for ages.
Yes, I do.
That's primarily what I got this for.
Okay.
Because I want to put some of this down underneath, something like that, and then I want to put this down over the top.
Okay.
But maybe different shades. I'd like to have a darker, I don't like that color grass.
Yeah. That is an interesting, it's really bright.
It's shiny too.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. I mean, not that grass can't be shiny and like things like that, like when it's wet or when like stuff like that, but it doesn't look good for me in the long run. But anyway, that's what a static grass applicator is, and that's how it works.
Well, speaking of basing, are you going to do any astrogranite bases?
I've thought about on my other orc team, and maybe the dwarf team
Uh-huh.
doing some astrogranite style bases.
Do you have plans for how you're going to do
We
that?
haven't even looked at it yet. What's
Because
your thoughts on it?
I don't know. I did those weird tile things for my undead army years ago.
Uh-huh.
I say years, but it was only, I think, 2 years ago that I made them. And I don't know. It was a lot of work, but at the same time, it looked pretty good. But I don't have any pitches that are tile anyways. You've got the grid, but that's not necessarily what astrogranite should be anyways.
Yeah, I think of
grid's-
astrogranite somewhat like asphalt type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not sure what to do. I don't think I'm going to do a foam base. If I do astrogranite, it's going to be probably, you know what would work well is I've got a sand that I've used, and when I apply it and paint it, it looks a lot like asphalt. So I could get an asphalt kind of finish, but maybe not do the charcoal color of asphalt.
And then one thing to be aware of, people out there that are looking at doing basing and you haven't done it before, it is good to paint the top of your base something that will either blend or
complement.
Yeah, so like a brown base to look like muddy stuff could be fine, or painting it green to kind of match the stuff, because like a lot of the time with the static grass I've seen, like you'll see through it a lot, and if it's like black or gray or whatever, it doesn't look good at all. But if you
that's what I do a lot of my bases with, is the Mornfang brown. I put that over the top, and then I'll put rocks and or grass and all sorts of stuff right on top of it. And often you can't even see the brown underneath.
But if you can,
at
it
least,
makes a difference than the black from the black and the other stuff.
Yep.
So do that. I have a lot of Astra Militarum stuff that I didn't, like when I first was doing stuff, I didn't do that with, and you can see through it, and it kills me every time. Also, obviously, there's the stuff out there like most model paint companies have like textured paints that you can do like your ground with, and then you can do other stuff on top of it. You don't have to. Another thing, like if you just want the muddy ground, like there are a lot of techniques to texture that up. Putting super glue down and then putting baking soda on top of it textures it pretty good and makes an interesting texture. Again, doing dirt and stuff like that is good. With dirt and things, I like to paint it afterwards if it's like real dirt. But things that I don't like, there are a lot of things that I don't like to paint, and they're actually more like food and consumable related. Like coffee grinds for dirt. Like I really like that one.
Painted coffee.
I've never painted coffee, but I have
do use it.
The one that I did, the cabin that I did for my dad before I passed away. It was coffee grinds is the base for that ground, and then I did other seasonings and stuff. Most of my ground cover in that is like different seasonings and stuff like that.
So I actually I don't know if I ever told you about this. It was about a year ago. At work, they came to me and they knew that I did this kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, I think you did mention
and
that.
They actually had me construct an aquifer and a little well system. So we were trying to show our city council how you recharge an aquifer, and so they had me build the model for it.
Nice.
It was interesting, but I used coffee grounds and oregano, and that thing had the most interesting smell. Because of the coffee mixed with oregano, they were both pretty powerful smells for a while. And it's funny too, because they actually put it in, so we have a water feature underneath one of our stairwells in my office, and they actually put it there for a few months until they had a real artist come in and paint the wall and build this full-sized rock feature. That was kind of fun. My plan is still, I've got the magnets. I'm just going to
magnetize the ball and do
So
the.
I'm going to magnetize the ball, and then I'm going to put magnets up underneath the bases where I want the ball to go.
Yeah.
And I love it because I've seen another player or another coach. He put his model down right next to the ball as it was laying on the field. I saw the ball just kind of wobble and went right under the base. I thought, that's what I want. So these are going to be runners. I'm going to get 2 runners. I've got 8 models left on these sprues. That's alright. I think I'm going to use the rest of them for Warcry anyways.
Am I going to have to follow the instructions on these guys?
I'm going to follow some instructions because
Yeah.
that's what I want to do. And I like this. These are going to be some fitting models for what I want. So I just hope I'm going to have enough. You have 1 million gold to build a team, and you need 11 players.
I was actually
on the pitch.
I hadn't got to actually reading about how much we had to build a team with.
I think you start with 1 million gold.
It was actually one of the things that I was looking at, why would you want to be the Imperial guys? Because their stats are usually cheaper, but they do have bodyguards, which I haven't looked at what their stuff do, and they are cheaper, so you can get more players.
Yeah. Team draft budget. The team draft budget is the amount of gold pieces you have to spend on your rookie team. When drafting your team for league play, you have a budget of 1 million gold pieces to spend on players, sideline staff, team re-rolls, and so forth. When drafting a team for exhibition play, you may have a higher budget. To field a full team, you do need 11 players.
I'm excited for our season.
Me too.
I hope it goes well.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope I don't get too distracted by other stuff coming up, like happens with our other stuff.
Uh-huh.
And there is inherently a challenge in that we have more people than usual trying to get more people than usual involved in it and doing it.
Which makes me wonder if we want to do 2 weeks for each game and just go slower.
Yeah. Especially since there are going to be issues as far as there are at least 2 players that are borrowing teams.
Yeah.
And so coordinating that will be a little more challenging. And although they can play anywhere, I feel like most of the time, I would like at least each team to play here once because I'd like to film at least 1 game with each team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any plans to film all teams. I mean,
yeah, all games.
All games, but I would like to have all the teams in.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Getting started is always the hardest part for me.
Mm-hmm.
Number 9 and number 11. Oh, there's number 9. I found it.
This glue is working much better today.
Good.
I wonder if it's because my orcs have been around for a while and they had dust on them and stuff, and so it was not because they've been built and stuff. It's just they were the box that fell over, and when I went in to get them out today to play, or last night, I was trying to fix some stuff and it just wouldn't fix.
Mm. There it is.
So I'm going to go straight down the one side and build everybody relatively the way they're supposed to be built.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other side and then the other sprue, that's the copy, I'm going to see if I can make some changes.
Okay. Get your experience off with the first one and
Yeah, well, and also just get an idea of where stuff can go and what's what.
Mm-hmm. Is that a Kopesh? It sure is.
What's a Kopesh?
One of those Egyptian type swords.
Oh.
I don't think I'm going to let her keep it.
I don't like slaughter bases for not slaughter models.
Oh, me neither.
I do actually like slaughter bases.
Mm-hmm.
With slaughter models, because a lot of the time they're easier to actually, like, they stay better rather than just trying to put these tiny feet on a model.
Mm-hmm.
But for non-slaughter bases, I don't like it. There is my first guy.
Well done.
He is a thrower.
Appropriate. Team captain.
Yeah.
First one done. Yeah, I'm building runners. I figured these were most appropriate for runners because they have wings. Although everything other than the linemen have a move of 7 for these dark elves.
Fast. That was a fortunate fall. Rather than bouncing into Neverland, into the Nether, it bounced into the pile. Alright, I'm not putting this feather on, but then how do I fix this helmet? Or do I wait till I put it on to fix it? No, I need to fix it now. Is this the right one? 31? Oh, that's 41.
I can't wait to get my tree man done. That's what I want to do.
Yeah. That's exciting. I hope that it works out this time,
Yeah, we'll see.
since you can't get it through other means.
So what's your plan? What are you playing?
I'm not sure yet. If Dan doesn't play the humans, I might play the humans.
Okay.
So
we have one human team at least.
Yeah, well, I not because of that, just because, like, for me, I know, like, there's teams that are better in the long run than other teams and not better and whatnot, but do I like the I like the human, like I was saying, I like that human team model, like that team the best. Also because they're modeled after, or they're painted in a manner following someone, a team that I like anyway, or that I grew up liking. I don't really watch anything now, but
Me neither. I'll catch the Super Bowl every once in a while, but
I'll watch a game when it's on. I just don't care to keep up with it anymore.
yeah. They mixed it up.
There's a mistake on your thing?
No.
Oh, I've had mistakes on my, either in my
No,
instructions
it's just
or my.
The parts on the sprue aren't numbered in a 100% logical way.
Yeah. Well, I got a bodyguard done. And
Well,
I
good.
So, question.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about the difference between, if it looks okay, the feather? So here he is with his feather, with his feathers on his helmet, and then just, it's hard to tell until I paint him how that like red part's gonna look on it. I'll probably try and smooth it out just a little bit, like, or the part where I cut the feather off.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping when I get the feathers off of him that these guys, like, I like him a lot more.
Oh, he looks, I think, a lot better without the feathers. Personally.
And again, I will use the feathers other places.
Right.
Actually, I might put them on my lizardmen team.
Oh, yeah.
Which is interesting, because I'm taking them off one team because I don't like the feathers on them.
And put them on another because they work.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta understand how her head's sitting on this body. This is always a part of putting a model together that I'm not a huge fan of.
Well, I don't like when the head and the body are partly molded together.
Uh-huh.
I like when the head is a thing, completely separate thing, and I can put it on, mostly because then I can switch out heads and do different things with them.
Uh-huh.
If that makes sense. Like, these guys seem to have part of their heads molded onto their body. I'm still hoping that I can change some of them on the other one. But maybe by the time I get there, I'll decide not to, so that I can tell who's who easier.
Mm-hmm.
But I also just want to write it on the bases like I did with some of my others. The ones had transfers for it, which was nice. Didn't use them, but it was nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think about it at the time. Now I got to go back and find them in my mess.
I'm looking forward to doing my transfers. So I can label the bases.
Yep. Other than I got some skill rings that
Oh.
will cover that anyway.
Uh-huh.
But I don't think I'll use the skill rings.
Okay, I can't find...
I hate that.
Oh, there it is.
Like, you can't look for the number easily because they're just all over and like they're in weird places. And sometimes the part on the sprue looks different than the part on the...
on the instructions?
Yeah.
Yep.
So that goes together. I guess so. It's weird. Oh, son of a...
Alright, let's modify these Kopeshes. Oh, feels like cutting off an arm. Amputation.
It's taking those feathers off I was worried about. I think you're in the same situation.
Yep. Okay. She's done.
This one's struggling with the bases. Sometimes that's a thing. Like it's a nice pose to only have one foot on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when it's not a slaughter base,
Mm-hmm.
having only one foot on the ground can be problematic.
Great. Not the problem, but there's my two runners.
Nice. Okay. I got almost half my team done. I know it was a way different type of video. Hopefully you enjoyed it though. And although we didn't get a lot of conversation done, we did get some work done.
Yep.
So it was good.
All right. Well, thanks for watching.
We'll see you later.